This is Boadu TV. Truth and integrity.
Boadu TV so nyema munyina akwa bampamra so ye be sure say why your first time you subscribe Kevin Taylor and some of what can do so Jakpa any Godfred Dame omo issue no ntin wan asem ye hwe Godfred Dame ho che be che no ena Kevin Taylor liki audio audio we liki no nyabotre na ti why wo de nyabotre o se samina ba o me ade ono makeup o Obana the makeup cast need in a cast baby makeup box in one system.
Petitions CID to investigate Dame for alleged evidence fabrication in ambulance case. And yenina to say a year Mr. Jakpa wako a year the police ako lodge complain. Say opese emra ewo Ghana ni ejuma. Opese pepe yo eda bibia o sekoda. Yentumi ntina krumu abra ye suspect say obia ye bibia emfa kwanu. Na sa nipa no ye jana mananante yentumi ye selective about who the law at the end of the day it deals with. Now the decision Jakpa taking a very good decision because said Godfred Dame nipa bia or person or cleaning off the crime I say what committee allegedly Godfred Dame will be happy that Jakpa is telling the CID to investigate this matter during the ambulance trial. No, yenina be hu say during the trial no Godfred Dame efre Jakpa ema Jakpa de recording no. Now in the conversation no Godfred Dame try say obe ne Jakpa say Jakpa enkotwan trobi na emwa ni case na ontumi engeli atoforcing. In the conversation between Godfred Dame and na former attorney general na omudi sankomo no na case reader ho court Godfred Dame and the lead prosecutor ono na ode de Jakpa ejina court ode attorney general court say opese abande omkoto efiase nanso Godfred Dame fa kotikwan so efre Jakpa e wo phone so na opese okoakwa anase odane dane asem no oforce Jakpa ma Jakpa ekotwa tro se ne be ya at the end of the day no ye de ato forcing ebeko jail inti asem no ye di mu an ekohu sedabi de attorney general ye no etiamra nanso na judge ote asem no so judge na oti case no so no sebio de Ghana for catch judge ni nyina say judge yesrew sa asem we asem bia wo court na asem wo court no den na attorney general a me no ka say odi asem anim etumi efre nipa na odi gina court a wo say sebio webu mra so no na attorney general no etumi efa kotikwan so try say obedada no say nipa no nkotwa atro na yentumi fa Ghana ni ntum. Judge we your friend madam ana efia sewa asaribotwe maami we enete na ote saa asem no so impempenso bi Ghana fo nyina bufu se na maami judge attorney general Ghana sebio eba embra aban lawyer ono na di anim no we bu mra so na embra na obu so no enye bosremuka emra webusu a eho engina so ana evidence wo ho. So you are supposed to take action. Unless you the judge, you are basically conniving with the attorney general to break the law. Intamagana for bebre bufuye. Eka say den attorney general wotia asem so. Utumi fa kotikwan so na wo frɛ omo wa asem nim na o ka kire omo sɛ omo nkotwa tro na wa asem nye de. Sa asem ya mi Kenya Jakpa and the audio coma police say yentu yensa emfra den attorney general na yentoto nano na yenhu asem no sebio say de na ono ka no no kra every say o wadanse. Now so refia this was a conversation a transfer between Jakpa and the attorney general Godfred Dame. Mrs. Do you have the Jakpa Godfred Dame conversation? If you are Ghana for namu refi. Mrs. Mr. P, do you have the conversation? I don't have it on the system. Inti Jakpa edisa audio no ebeto abontene na oma Ghana for nyina eti ase say in some way and in some attorney general friend no e kan wo edien phone so a opesa Ghana for nyina ehu and me kai say minim say Ghana for bebre mu wafi inti asem we no say Godfred Dame ye nipa bi a oka no kra na say onim say bone a Jakpa e ka say wedi no ondi ya. I am very sure say obepese edien CID office no ebeto nsa afre no na sebio wabeso abeka the side of the story say ebia Jakpa asɛm na ɔka no Jakpa sebio oditro na utie conversation na me try abo conversation actually was say utie asie say time a attorney general Efra Jakpa no Godfred Dame no na asɛm no wɔ court na asɛm no yɛda ho di na asɛm no deɛn Godfred Dame ababonta bɛka kyɛ Ghana for say ɔpɛ sɛ ɔgyeli atoforsen efiri sɛ atoforsen ɛne Jakpa mo no ambulance contract bi no sebio atoforsen akɔdi ngine mu ama ne boss finance minister no ɔyɛ na bɛdi akyire akɔ sign document ɛna na Jakpa so yɛ agent ma company na ɛde ambulance ne baayɛ no nti Godfred Dame ka sɛ ɛkwan bi aso no ɔbɛgyeli atoforsen ɛne Jakpa na yɛnim sɛ the same time no Godfred Dame so ɛnam deɛn ɛnam ɛkwan kyire anasɛ ɔnam kotikwan bi so deɛn di nkɔmɔ wɔ akyire dada deɛn Jakpa sɛ ɔmbɛdi atoro ɛwɔ court na ɛma na asɛm nyɛ de sɛnea ɛbɛyɛ a obetumi ebua deɛn atoforsen for. Now I know some majority of you have forgotten about this audio. Mama yenko tie conversation.
You pay only after the goods have been delivered, because that's also the contract, not so.
Yes, but then the financial instrument for the project is an irrevocable letter of credit. So good. So that credit letter has already been sent.
Hold on, no problem. But in my view, that letter of credit area, the contract requires that you pay by letters of credit, not so.
Yes, in addition, we should establish it upon the sign of the contract. So already you have paid.
Upon the sign of the contract for every 50 ambulance.
Yes. Upon the signing of the contract for every 50 ambulance, since there was no advance mobilization, advance payment, that LC was a security that you have to establish ahead.
No problem. It's on the contract for every 50 ambulance. Is it the contract for every 50 ambulance?
Pardon?
Is it the contract for, I'm saying upon the sign of the contract for every 50 ambulance.
Yes.
Is it the contract for every 50 ambulance?
The contract is for 200 ambulances in tranches of 50.
Good, hold on. So that contract for 50 ambulance is different from this one?
No. It is, the contract is one contract for 200 ambulances, which has been broken down within the contract for every few, you establish LC for every 50 tranche. So you have 4 LCs for the 200 ambulances.
No, that part I disagree with you. But if you look at the terms of the contract, it's quite clear. And it should not be difficult for you to accept, because really it doesn't put you in any problem at all. That does not put you into any difficulty. And you know the Minister of Health, the Minister of Finance. So for me, if you accept that, then it doesn't put you in any difficulty.
See, the problem I have in accepting that for you is that in there are letters that confirm that, both from government and from our principal, that is for every 50 ambulances. That confirms that. And I'll be tendering those letters in. So I cannot. So I'm looking at another person also going to go through ordeal and through me, because I know the truth and I decide not to say it because I want to help the AG make his case. And I ask myself, what is my interest in it?
I'm not asking you to really help me. I'm just going by it. Anyway, so that's fine. So this one was even just by the way.
I hope you get my difficulty.
It's on the phone. I don't even know that.
Oh no. Don't worry about that one. My issue. I'm just. Oh no. You and I will be meeting. You'll be meeting me at my cousin's place, and you've been bringing this issue up several times. And I keep telling you that I can't do that because it doesn't sit well with me.
Look at the terms of contract. The terms of contract are simple. And it's on sites have established upon the side of the contract for every ambulance.
Yeah.
So, this is a conversation between Godfred Dame, Tamari Attorney General, or the Atoforsen, and the Jakpa Ekojina Court. Say, Ghana Court, Angeli Atoforsen, and the Jakpa. If you say, ambulance be a crab, no. Na Jakpa company na agent, and na Atoforsen na deputy finance minister. Na Atoforsen, the boss, na or yes, Tekpe, finance minister, no, man instruction say, so Oma establish LCR on signing it off. Jakpa ejina quarter, Attorney General ejina the name to na no say Angeli no. Na Angeli de Atoforsen no. Adia sa na Attorney General Godfred Dame afre Jakpa. Attorney General no case no ntiasie. Then Jakpa has to sit back and explain to him what LC means. Has to explain to him how LC can be cleared. Has to explain to him the role of the agency, the role of the ministry, the role of the health ministry. And this is the Attorney General. And at a point, statement Attorney General Godfred Dame, former Attorney General, and make it dangerous and say, or see, if you agree to my theory, to this theory, and Jakpa say, I cannot agree to what you want me to agree to. And I'll say, okay, if you agree, or okay, let's say you agree to my way, and it will make things easy for me. And Jakpa can say, I will be dishonest. Many pabonini say, who Attorney General person be chatro. Na me trust atro na at the end of the day, no, ebema atofos na ko jail. It is sa atro no to me twa. Afei Jakpa can say, only me yesia bebre, yesia kura o judge penyini bi fie about this matter. Abra ye nyina yegina court. Enti wa unim say, enya dia metumi atwatro e dia boa wo case ma obi akodem. And when Attorney General can say, oh, na say unim say okra me nyesho o record me ana we wiase de wa unim me yesho say o record. And also media me no we fine pa ye din komo acha ye ko eye judge ba kokra fie ko din komo asem we nyina ekoso no o de ye din komo no say wa unim me say bia o record na ade it Attorney General no that statement kokra show say no onim de oye onim say de no oye no na eye crime. Godfred Dame knew that moment na oni eye Jakpa ekasa on phone so abra case in court no he knew say he was committing a crime. The intentions were clear for him to even raise the issue, say I hope you are not recording me. For him to make that statement, the intent was that he knew that his action that moment was wrong and that he was committing a crime. What he was doing was against the ethics of his job. What he was doing was against Emrano, and that if any ordinary Ghanaian does this, like myself, like yourself, that they call ordinary Ghanaian, if anybody does this, he can stand in court and jail the person. The moment Attorney General, former Attorney General Godfred Dame, Eka say, I hope you are not recording me, no. Na onim se odi bone. The intent is what we are establishing here, because na onim se ondi bone a anka onka say. Be sure say or record me, because don't say recording in kwane be evidence anyone can use against him that he actually committed a crime. If nobody was recording him, he wouldn't have been worried. But on him says obi recorded the all kana that can be used against him in any court for him to be pronounced guilty. And it's na oka say, I hope nobody is recording me. Into that statement alone, no, it makes Godfred Dame a very dangerous human being. He is not supposed to work in any law court and call himself a lawyer. A dangerous. Now listen, when you take your time and read a year code of conduct, sa code of conduct a bo a year a year a juma ho buying Godfred Dame sebio a juma na oye as the Attorney General of Ghana. No, so read the code of conduct now. 1. Fabrication of evidence. Definition: intentionally creating or manipulating evidence to mislead the courts or influence judicial proceedings. What Attorney General Godfred Dame, it was basically fabrication of evidence, because what he was doing was that court proceedings, not or manipulate witness, not or fabricate a story. He was even telling the witness to toe his line. He was telling the witness that, you see, if you can do it my way, my theory, meaning Attorney General ana Godfred Dame na oti case no so na ogina court ye the main prosecutor no, he was misleading the court. He was influencing judicial process. And for him to even say I hope nobody is recording me, he knew there was evidential material it can be used against him. Say asɛm na okan no, say a Attorney General and a prosecutor obi and this evidence in back they say another witness is talking to a lawyer now. The Attorney General could have used that material evidence to prosecute somebody. Until he knew. And when it comes to law, when it comes to crime, majority of the time, it is the intent behind the crime. And it's like your crime will be your first degree murder, second degree murder, your manslaughter. The intent behind it will make either let the judge pronounce you say, we're first degree murder, we're second degree murder, we're manslaughter. The intent. And the intent we realized, and I said we saw in we heard in the audio, no, Godfred Dame knew what he was doing. He knew he was committing a crime. Godfred Dame knew he was going against the code of conduct. Now, here, when you read the code of conduct, and it's not make us say Godfred Dame himself on D bonnet on adeoye and entiamra entia ethics and our code of conduct na dear Jakpa say oyobia or cry, he will be happy because this is the time for him to, at the end of the day, declare himself to prove to Ghana for say he is not a corrupt judicial person. He's not a corrupt lawyer. And when he was the Attorney General, he wasn't basically influencing judicial proceedings. Godfred Dame so cry. He should not be ashamed of this. He should be happy. And by this time, no, I was saying Godfred Dame to be releasing statement. And that's why I press conference. I say, I am happy this is going to the authorities for investigations because I believe I never did this. I didn't say this. Whatever is out there is a lie. But because Godfred Dame knows he's guilty, because what we had, the intent, not a witch, clearly shows he is guilty. He's quiet. Godfred Dame abused his office. Now, when you go to the fabrication of evidence, this is what it says. I say relevant law, section 213 of the Criminal Code Act 29. In the Criminal Code Act, punishment felony conviction. Now, so we are when you intentionally create or manipulate evidence and answer mislead court or influence judicial proceedings, you can be arrested. In fact, your friend will be felony conviction. You better match what we fiase. And from what we heard, what we listened to, Godfred Dame basically was trying to do what? Mislead the court or influence judicial proceedings or manipulate, intentionally trying to manipulate evidence. This is crazy. This is not a joke. Now, so punishment now up to 10 years imprisonment. Or say, yeah, chill. That's oh yes, sad now. So could them if you do 10 years. And if John Mahama says we are resetting, there's a reset agenda. These are the kind of things we need to do. We need to reset the system. Obi obey against the decision Jakpa has taken to move this to the CID. Sandy Panorama number 4, because then Ghana ye, set Ghana ye, if you don't support this action by Jakpa, now you're comfort, because then how are we going to make sure the right things are done? Because people like Godfred Dame, you're more the position to be attorney generals. They should know better. They should know the law. They carry themselves around that they are lawyers. They are well learned. They know the law. So if you know the law, then there's no excuse here. Especially when you're the attorney general, you need to come and clean yourself. Especially when there is a clear-cut evidence on the table that you and I can listen to and deduce. Attorney General Godfred Dame can go to jail after the CID investigations. Who say he actually did that. He can go to jail for 10 years. Depending on severity and intent, up to 10 years imprisonment. Depending on severity and intent. In law, intent is very important. So we come for life, intent. So we come for 1 year, intent. So we come for 10 days, 10 years, the intent behind your actions. If the investigations started, not that conclusion be say the intent was him trying to manipulate the process 10 years. The intent was for him to influence the judicial proceedings 10 years. The intent was intentionally creating or manipulating evidence 10 years. Godfred Dame fell on in the back because the intent. Now, how do we establish intent? We establish intent when somebody decides, when he's taking an action, starts to question the actions. When you start to question your actions, then it means there is an intent. So when you say, oh, Tam idea the every baby. Now him say enise wankasa ade na wotam na se wonim say ade na wotam no edu beto problem na wo fra wadan fo ka chen say akwesi ye nyina wa adwuma mu na diamond na that table no so no wonya sure say obi tama obeko jail na akwesi ka say da bi o sa diamond de otama obeko jail o na ka say oh okay na me pese me hu say otama obeko jail na end the call na otama. The intent was to take it. You are already determined. You had the intent to take it. Tema okachire Jakpa say I am sure nobody's recording me. Not intent no. He knew what he was doing. Na onim say adiena o ye no eye bone. Anything I'm say the intent is very important. Now importance about intent is say and then a chere wa dwumu po and the wo ye no at that moment. Oko e chere say possible disbarment or removal from public office if convicted. Say ye chew ye hwehwem ne ehu say saa de na wo ye ya or say pamu free the legal fraternity enisa we are offer ho lawyer biem or say twa wesu or say bro pamo ye hwe dwonsogu ho ye tetetete KVIP gu so na ye bro de ensono ene nsanso saw na edi ye de banchidua bro e de koto bebi say enisa offer ho lawyer biem or say ye de bentua saw ye de ensanso gu ho or say ye de abe esraw na ye de mafi efa wanim na ye bro ye tawbu na ye sade eye shito fa to ho na ye pian ekoto nsuo bia no or say ye twa wosu eni se ofra ho krampo se o ye lawyer, you have to be disbarred. It intent ni here now so ko anima eye code of conduct no I say definition perjury. Now, knowingly making a false statement under oath in a judicial proceedings. Remember, time no mo kasa no na case no court. Na time na case no court no before a prosecutor, a witness, an accused, everybody is under oath. The prosecutor himself, who is the attorney general, takes an oath. Meaning, say unim say you are under oath and the intent is to commit a crime. At the end of the day, what happens is say because you are under oath, you are at the end of the day committing a crime, and also it falls under felony. Relevant law, section 211 of Criminal Code Act 29. Definition: knowingly making a false statement. Time ago, Godfred Dame Jakpa say, you let's take my theory. You use my theory. And Jakpa say, I can't use your theory. Or say, no, you use mine. At that moment, he is knowingly making a false statement. Or pese Jakpa ko chatro. Or pese Jakpa eko chatro. Until he knew his actions. He knew where he was headed. The intent was there. Until a false under felony. And also no punishment near then up to 7 years imprisonment. Loss of credibility in future legal proceedings. Ubetima koda efiasi infien song. Okay, team, send it to me. We have some documents we'll be showing you and evidence about Godfred Dame. We see excavator, the missing excavators near there. They will be working on that very soon. Yeah. How they auctioned excavators. We see Godfred Dame. We will show you all how all these things came by. Nina time to dry the betchem. Inti okay perjury. When you are under oath, so with this sabonina, you can go in for 7 years. Team. Now, the reason why Godfred Dame time as some way by in the courtroom of Madam Sewa, now ye can say onra a witness box him. Now ombe deny say a yet sa audio way na Jakpa ediabeto abontino and yet on na okasa or say onyeno. It was because he knew say when he enters the box and takes an oath, he's going to go to jail for 7 years. And until during the case, yesterday case, not only the lead counsel for the state, only the attorney general only the cross examination. Time a Jakpa edi audio di babontinia or petition court to say, side way na Godfred Dame or your state prosecutor, lead counsel for the state. Godfred Dame took a step back. Say judge now or a judge papa or penokra. The judge would have said, say, Godfred Dame should get in the box and take an oath and give us an answer. Say, sa audio na Jakpa release no eyo no anase nyo no. But because Godfred Dame knew the moment he mounts that box, now Oko take oath. The moment he takes that oath, he's going to go to jail for 7 years because he could never deny, or he will never be able to deny say enya ono na ekasa o tape him. And along the way, in the middle of the case, people said the judge was a terrible judge. This woman, Godfred Dame kwasi asema odi Mami way, she was the problem. Onye a judge you can trust. Because if you're a judge who wants the right thing done, the moment an accused person comes out with evidence, material evidence, and tell you, say, Madam Judge, you have to be just. This man who is the Attorney General, he has committed a crime, and I have evidence to it. In fact, if you want to know, you can call me in a box or call him in the box to prove to us that he didn't do this. The judge deliberately said, no, I will not allow that. Why did the judge stop it? Because the judge knew when the judge listened to the audio, he listened, he heard Godfred Dame's voice. Because the judge wanted to protect the Attorney General, Godfred Dame, she refused to allow Godfred Dame to enter the box. And the most shocking thing, and say, Godfred Dame was the lead counsel for the state, Time we do, or cross-examine Jakpa again, Godfred Dame took a step back and said he's not going to do it, and that his deputy should rather cross-examine Jakpa. Because don't him say, so Nwangasa cross-examine Jakpa, Jakpa was going to question him in the box. But because he wanted to avoid that, because he knew he had already committed a crime, he refused to enter the box to take an oath. The judge also helped him to avoid that. Minti, anka judge ni kanokre, sa judge we honest, and anka pese embrano eye juma, anka sa judge we ma Godfred Dame tena dakem. Na oma Jakpa lawyer ebusa ne say me pacho, did you confront my client? Were you the one on the phone talking to my client? You as the Attorney General, did you meet my client in another judge's house to discuss this case in court? But this woman, knowing that the Attorney General, former Attorney General Godfred Dame, and the Oyeni Nyenti, they wanted to protect criminality. This woman said no. Mami we said I'll be on penny. And these are the people working in Ghana and saying judges. And when you speak about them, they're like, hey, warrants, come and that is what we are seeing in Ghana. Morally, a judge, if you want your credibility to be intact, all that you do is that Attorney General enter the box. I respect you. I know you are just, you want to do the right thing. Enter the box and prove to Ghana that you are an Attorney General who is not a criminal. But this woman said no. This man said Godfred Dame should walk. In fact, the most embarrassing part is when Godfred Dame said, I am not going to even cross-examine Jakpa. Let my deputy do it. And the woman was like, okay. This judge was like, okay, Godfred Dame, the court is yours. Do what you want to do. That is how bad under Kotokonu, this is what we experienced. This is what we experienced under Godfred Dame as the Attorney General. This is what we experienced as an Attorney General under Ekufuado and Bawumia. This is what Tokonu was overseeing. This is the danger we were in. And you know the funny thing, Madam Tokonu actually suggested this woman to Ekufuado to promote her to the Supreme Court. This judge. This woman was part of Tokonu's 5 judges. She referred to Ekufuado that Ekufuado should promote to the Supreme Court. This woman was going to make it to the Supreme Court if Ekufuado or Bawumia had won the elections. This woman. And this is a simple thing as a judge. So many people were talking. The court's credibility was on the line. The judiciary credibility was on the line. This woman said no. Godfred Dame should not enter the box and take an oath. The former Attorney General committed the greatest sin when it comes to our judiciary on the land. Godfred Dame is the worst Attorney General anyone has ever come across. An Attorney General who can call a witness behind the scenes and force the witness, try to convince the witness to lie. And that guy kept on being the Attorney General of Ghana and the Ekufuado and the Bawumia in front of this woman in our court. What kind of country were we building? And then at the end of the day, the Chief Justice said that put this woman in the Supreme Court. This alone should not allow, this alone should tell us that she was not prepared to enter the Supreme Court. I have no problem with her. But the conduct of some of the judges, the behavior, the kind of political leanings, the clear-cut biasness in our courtrooms, the entitlement some of them feel, the way they are able to abuse the rule of law. because they are in the courtroom, when the people are yearning for what we call transparency, when Ghanaians were saying, give us transparency, let us see our courts can be trusted, these people submerge the integrity of the court deep, deep down under the ocean. And these are things that we have been talking about for years. These are things we have been discussing. This was some of the things a judge can say, Kevin Taylor, or the contempt at Tomiso. These are some of the things. People like us, we can't sit and watch these kind of things to happen. A judge sits in courtroom, a witness come to court and say, my lord, I have something, I have a problem, I have evidence. This man prosecuting me wants me to change my mouth, wants me to deceive the court, wants me to lie to put another man in jail. And the judge says, no problem, throw it away. And then the man who was accused of tampering with evidence, witness, comes and say, "I'm not going to enter the box, and that I'm not even going to I'm not going to cross-examine the witness. I am going to make my deputy do it." And we sit in Ghana, and some fools in Ghana were applauding this in our courts. Now, Kwasiafo to Ghana to TV, so defended this action, and a judge wako school went to me. I fought through the mill. Now I'm a politicians. They are bringing your credibility down. This is what we were fighting. That is the danger. The reset now, your person judiciary, you are resetting. These are some of the things. Now, let me show you something. Momeyanko tie Kofi Bentil of Imani. And asɛm we ba ya Jakpa edit case way akoma CID. Say MBA investigations no. It's at this point you ask yourself, who has Ghana at heart? When you listen to Kofi Bentil, now a young man, and you ask yourself, so who has Ghana at heart? Who has the right to clear their name? In Ghana today, when you want to fight for the right thing, how do you have to do it? You have to be somebody from my hometown in Ayeldo. Nobody knows. And son, to me, I try to fight to clear your name. Like, how does the law work? Like, Utie Kofi Bentila. The all can say, Jakpa case na ko a year police say you only the who say it's abuse of power, and that a political persecution, and that something he calls it is highly likely that there's a higher authority. There's the presidency. They are pushing Jakpa to do this. And if he used political energy, he used a word like vengeance, he used words like projecting. Like, how? Where are we now as a nation? When Godfred Dame was on phone telling Jakpa to toe his line, when Godfred Dame called Jakpa to meet him at Kulendi's house, when Godfred Dame failed to enter the witness box to take an oath to answer Jakpa's question, was he not abusing his power? Was Dame not was he not abusing his power when he picked a phone to talk to Jakpa? Was he not abusing his power as the Attorney General of Ghana? Time na oya Attorney General of our phone na on Jakpa di case no nkomo abra onim se case no court. Onokra in the conversation or admitting say on the witness no share o judge be fear several times. Na ultra witness know what to do. Was Godfred Dame not abusing power? Kofi Bentil, mona mo man kofo dim fantefo atem we Jimmy. I don't respect anything about you. You are some of the foolish great people in Ghana. Mama Ekufuor and the MPP taking Ghana for granted. You are a fool. Uya kwasia. In today be amoti Ghana TV so any radio so say we need to fight and change this country. No, what do you guys mean? You are a foolish man. Uya kwasia penyini muncher. Now Godfred Dame as the Attorney General when he was in office. So because Jakpa is working with national security, he cannot demand for the right thing to be done. We are kwasia penyini muncher ejim. Eye penyini muncher ejim. Usku awa akonyina na achede eye jimu foneba. Inim nyansa. So we are fighting for the democracy. We want the right thing to be done. So who has the right to question the system when they believe that things are not being done? Eye kwasia muncher neba. Ejim papa. You are the people. You gave Akufo-Addo Bawumia them the opportunity to abuse Ghanaians. How can you make such a statement? Somebody even petitioned the General Legal Council on this matter. Nothing was done. Today, the person who was in the middle or was in the middle of the issue says, I want the right thing done. If the investigators go in, do their investigations, and they find nothing wrong, I have done no wrong. The former Attorney General has done nothing wrong. How can a man like you, calling yourself, say, Akko School, you have common sense, you have read than me, you are a twerp, a gym. What do you represent? Everything should be politics. So today, nobody can, at the end of the day, access our security agencies to do the job. You are a fool to even start to say, you think it is vengeance. What is vengeance here? You Kofi Bento kwasia te sawo senka Attorney General Godfred Dame Kevin we ne di wo a anka kwasia wabodi mu fi ne wo ge nyoma wo ye no anka wo ka be gina kasa asem no. You want to politicize every single thing, and these are the fools who are parading on our TV and radios and saying vote for Bawumia. Bawumia is intelligent. Penyini mu ntware kwasia penyi today de mi kwasia yi ibenyansa na ebetumi aka kire Bawumia ejim uhu finda apofi. I want kwasiafo na wa say Ghana. Mon kwasiafo say na moma nkofo ka say mfantefo ye kwasiafo. If nipa fint dawo. How can you do that? Not Godfred Dame na Oya Attorney General, who is supposed to know better, who was calling witnesses in the middle of a case, who was basically tampering with witnesses, and you had it for yourself. Na enkwasiafo say from who a Christopher omomanya mesoma ya time as a Christian. Nipa fin say, and we sit in this nation. Penyini mu ntware Jimmy Fudami na yesi Kofi Bentel Imani na kwasia we call radio so no oko na oba. So you, what do you represent? What do you stand for? Then today we cannot prosecute anybody. We cannot question anybody, because if you go and question anybody, it is at the end of the day persecution, vengeance. So what do we do? Iya kwasia neba ejim. And you people, it hurts me that people in Ghana see people like you and say you are intelligent. So today in Ghana, because of people's position, they cannot ask for the right thing to be done. Because of people's position, because of where they are coming from, the office they occupy, they cannot ask for the right thing to be done. Jakpa did not say CID boss by force find Dame guilty. Jakpa says, I have evidence to prove that the former Attorney General committed a crime. Look into it. So why do you start to say that you think it's because some higher power, because of its position, because it is vengeance? You are a stupid fool. Eye penyini mu ntwere. Eye mfantinia boa. Awona woman kofuzi na atem. Ejim. Your likes are the ones you gave Akufo-Addo and his cronies the room to infest. They crawled into our democracy. You are the fools who open up the cracks for disease like Akufo-Addo and his likes to crawl into our democracy, to split our democracy. You are a foolish man. So who has the right to go to the police today? If everything, we are going to read politics into everything, who has the right to go to police? It will be a CID boss. Even the CID boss of Ghana today, Asamotuna, still a police report. I don't think I guess a CID boss on fast nation and CID boss of Ghana. Send the people in the bar. She has to go to police and make a report. And so guess Muhammad appointed into side investigations by force. I'll send the panel, Yejelino, Yakwasia, Yepenin Ker. That case, no. The judge, Mami, I'm doing a picture chair with this woman. When Jakpa brought the evidence to court and told the court that we have to, this woman, where's the judge? Mami, we. Mami sewa asari osediyen. Mami we, yedi case the bar court. I can say, oh my Godfred Dame embejina dakem. Na on take oath. Na on kase Jakpa audio no e no anase nyo no. This is what the woman said. Judge we, your kind. Na down for pani afenyo marking. This is what the judge said. AG Jakpa tape. There is no basis to allow inquiry into Godfred Dame's conduct. Judge, this is a basis be anywhere. Upon the Godfred Dame, there's no basis to even inquire into his conduct. Also, me inquiry be Godfred Dame Bokrono, Odin Kwashesebo, Godfred Dame Adia Krani Achino, within the case, Yenja Godfred Dame, na Embrano, Yenjina court, Yenin Kwashes. That is what this woman said in court. A woman, a judge. Witness Akachel say, Madam Judge, this is what is going on. The Attorney General is abusing his office. He's forcing me to say things I know they are not true. This Attorney General is a liar. What he's doing is criminal. The judge said, you know something, there's no basis to allow inquiry into Godfred Dame's conduct. Or say on penny. No standards. That's what the judge said. I said no standards. And the Kufuado and the Bawumia. Intienne, Asamako court. Na judge B. Yes, way and na judge Biena Noka. These same foolish people were sitting in Ghana telling us to say, oh, I brought your coach na judge Bienimno, judge ne coach to Idi Amin. Na Idi Amin no yaboa. You saw all of them over the place. Hey, we don't understand. Near to Ghana, and Obi Koti, the black book. The black book from UK. So Bodan bini been a try cry nim. But Idi Amin as an African, we have created an impression. A judge sits in court and quote Idi Amin. And you saw these foolish boys all over the place. This is crazy. How can a judge quote Idi Amin? Idi Amin weku mame. Idi Amin weku papa. People did more atrocity, more crazy things in Africa. Idi Amin. Do you know the real story behind Idi Amin? And people create this nonsense. We sit in Ghana, somebody commits a crime, a judge says, the Attorney General, even though we have a tape, we are not going to question the Attorney General. Let the case keep going. We don't care whether the Attorney General has killed somebody, has tampered with evidence, has tampered with witness. The judge said, I don't care. Let the case go on. These same people did not say anything. And the Abronya Kwasiampe and Nimsa Ponchibeya Kojina court. Not judge, a quote from Idi Amin. Say, in my courtroom, I can use this quota. These stupid, foolish boys are all over the place. We have not heard anything like this before. How can you quote Idi Amin? You want people to be quoting Kufuor, but you don't want people to quote Idi Amin. Do you know what Kufuor did? You want people to be quoting the Kufuor. You don't want people to be quoting Idi Amin. Do you know what the Kufuor did? You want people to be quoting people like Kufuor, but you don't want people to quote Idi Amin. You are a madman. Do you know the story of Idi Amin? It is what you came to meet. It is what they told you. Have you done your own research? And ye Jimmy Wagana, I say nine. Today, 2 days ago, I've seen something about some of these boys, some of these guys. We don't understand. And why did the government of Ghana receive the deportees? Oh, deportee, I will call you. Receive the deportees from America. And we don't understand. We have to go to court. We need to stop the government. These deportees are Ghana government. Aji omo Ghana. Omonya Ghana for. The base assembly in say these are Africans. Omo ko obi manso. And then Nipan say on pelmo. And then Nipan say he wants to get rid of them. Sa Krona America say he wants to get rid of them. No, the country does not care where they will land. We are the same people in Africa saying Africa should take the lead. We have to be our own Africa. We need to protect a brother. These same boys sitting on TV and radio saying, why did they bring the Africans here? Why did they bring them? These are the same foolish boys who went to Europe and America to learn law. They could not learn law in their own country. They had to go to this same Europe and go learn the law. Today, their fellow Africans are being brought, and we as a nation, out of generosity and hospitality, we are saying we will receive our brothers, even though they are not from Ghana. Some are from Togo, Benin, Burkina Faso. These people America is deporting. None of them obienwa murder case done so okuobi. These people who are being deported from America, obienwa yakase we kunipa 500, wa commit some genocide. These are people who at the end of the day yes omo paperwork in yejuma, so they should leave America. So if they should leave America, na so many baby akọ, na Ghana is receiving them. And what's the big deal? But you get these foolish boys sitting on TV and radio. We don't understand. They should go to court. They should do this. They should do that. And these people turn around and say, we are Pan-Africanists. We want Africa to come together. We don't want borders in Kwasiafo. You don't want borders. Your fellow African is being hauled from another country. It's being pushed out. And your country is saying, I'm receiving them because Togolese are Ghanaians. Ivorians are Ghanaians. Nigerians are Ghanaians. We are one Africa. And the Union Africa ni ba mo dem kwase TV so say we don't understand why are they bringing them here. Why? Are they not Africans? You don't love them again? Are you not the same people saying that you don't want the young people of Africa to be going outside to hustle? Today, the white man says, I don't want Africans. He's bringing them back to their root. Why are you complaining? By force lawyers, are they not Africans? Emancipation. We are one people. We love ourselves. We love each other. Our brothers are being sent. The slaves that we sent to Europe and America, the slaves are coming back home. We don't want them to stay with us. We have been talking about slavery. We have been talking about the black man not being recognized in America, in Europe, in Asia. Today, they are saying we don't want black people. We are taking them back to their roots. You say we don't want them. Then you turn around and say, I'm a proud African. I went to UK to study law. I went to Holland to study law. And so it makes you wise. You are foolish. Inferiority complex. Shiatra, Jimmy. So you are going to court. You have an issue. Why are they bringing Africans to Africa? Why are they bringing Africans to Africa? Kwasia, nyamfa African nkwahi. Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo justified the importation of mercenaries. Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, he justified the importation of mercenaries. In Kwasiafo like you and Kofi Bento Dems, you defended the Akufo-Addo in 2015. Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo brought mercenaries to Ghana because we are stupid people. Ye young Kwasiafo ye buy and send ye job because of too mean. Today, we are sitting there fighting. We are going to court. We don't understand. This fool, he imported mercenaries and he justified it. This fool, he imported mercenaries into Ghana. This cabbage, this twerp, he imported mercenaries, sat on TV and justified it. Today, the Americans are saying they don't want some Africans in America. I am lucky to have an American passport. I wasn't born here. My fellow African did not get that opportunity like I have. The American government says, I don't want those who are not legal to stay in America. Let them go back to Africa. Some of them don't even know where they are from. Some of them don't even know their country. Now a country says, let them come in. Let us admit them as our brothers. Let us try and resettle them wherever they are from. Foolish boys like you, stupid boys and girls, because of politics, they have to go to court. They have to sue the government. They have to. And what do you mean by we are Africans? Continent here and could be to say when people unko Africa. The reason why these people ended up with us in Ghana was because baby Obufrino, they don't have any relationship with the American government. In terms of Pumana and Kwasiafo, Sanka America for the Kofo Kugu Puma and Quebec TV so Ghana. I can say I learned law in UK, I learned law in Holland. I am gang. You know something? This is bad. We are Africans. We have to fight for our own. We cannot allow our children, our brothers and sisters to be humiliated. Kwasia. Most of them in Ghana. So where should they go? Because as an African, if you ask me, that these people, where should we take them? I will tell you to take them to Africa. I don't care where you drop them in Africa. Because I believe Africans are one people. If the Americans don't want them because they are illegitimate, they have to go back home. So what's the big deal? It is every time you people are being stupid. Now just out Chinese for, and I also will deport you Ako Asia. That's how they call Japan. The Japanese will take them and give them to China because they see themselves as Asians. At that moment, their collective good is what's important to them. These are not criminals. These are people who don't have documentation. These are people who are like you in Ghana. These are people be beating them America. Illegal way America. They are not bad people. They are not crazy people. It's the American system. The government believes to say they cannot hold them or keep them in America. I don't falter them. It is their nation. They decide what to do, what they want to do, how they want to govern their nation. So if the American government believes that they want to sanitize their system, they don't want some illegal people in the country, it does not make our African brothers bad people if they want to give them to us. If we have the capacity to host them, why don't we take them? Why should this be a conversation? Now, sorry say we are going to assure them, we are emancipating, we are there. Now, wait to Ghana to TV. So, this is no topic. This is nothing. This is nothing. What is this? Now, Liberia, they came to Ghana. What is the difference between this and the people as refugees who came from Liberia to settle in Ghana, Bujumburam? And today, Liberians live with us. We have Ghanaians who have married Liberians. You don't even see the difference between a Liberian and a Ghanaian. So the difference is that they were put in on a plane and brought to Ghana, and you make people feel like they're not human beings. Do you know what you are doing? Do you know what it does to those people? They feel not accepted. And some of you are going in, infiltrating and telling them, sue the country, sue the country. Do you know what it does to these people? If these people landed at Kotoka and Yenyiba together as a people, gave them a welcome and settled them down, do you think? How do we build? How do we foster that coordination? How do we call ourselves Africans, one people? Tomorrow, TV, so he is explaining, you know what, the Americans, what was the agreement? Do I fucking care about Americans agreeing with Ghanaians to bring an African to Ghana? Do I fucking agree? Do I care about the MOU? Do I care about the deal my government of Ghana is having with the American government? I need my brother alive. I need my sister alive. I need an African from Togo, an African from Nigeria. An African is an African. So why don't we become humans for once? And then the other name for school kakre bekono na ya dane mwa ya si Jimmy, especially Ghanaians. I don't know Jimmy sir. Why are you stupid? And these people on AU Day, they are talking about Nkrumah. We believe in the ideologies of Nkrumah. Nkrumah did not even want one border in Africa. Nkrumah didn't want to see a border between Ghana and Nigeria. And Togo. He didn't want to see a border between Nigeria and Cote d'Ivoire. He didn't want to see a single border. So what did Nkrumah want? Nkrumah wanted a united Africa. He wanted an African who can pick his bag from Nigeria and come settle in Ghana. A Ghanaian who can pick his bag from Ghana and settle in Sudan. That is what Nkrumah wanted. So if you believe in the Nkrumah ideology and vision, and you call yourself an African, and your fellow African, out of poverty, out of hardship, out of political intimidation, decides to leave their own land, to go to the white man's land, and today the white man is saying, I don't want you. Why don't you embrace them and bring them back home? How do you become Africans? How do you become who you want to be? Now, TV, so because of politics, you are stupid people. Some of you are stupid. I watch these things and I feel pity for you people. Some of you. School now. Before school is not good for some of you black people. So what are we fighting for? And what is the government? What did the government tell? The American government said, I don't like these Africans. They don't have documentations. Go back home. Those countries these people are from, America, any connection when it comes to diplomacy, when it comes to treaties, they don't. So at the end of the day, an African has to help an African. An African brother needs to look and help an African. Into your born and say, these people should come and be humans. These people should come and be comfortable. These people should come back home and feel they are back home. You wanted these people, their bodies to be sent to Ghana for these fools to go and parade and have big funerals. Go on the desert. Go and see what's happening on the desert. These people are getting out of Africa. Young people. They are dying every single day. All because we have not been able to sit down to understand what we stand for. We have not been able to allow ourselves to reason. We don't even understand who we are. We don't even understand what we believe in as a people. So our young people are leaving because those people out there, even though they don't have anything, they have something they can hold on to. They have something they can believe in. There's something that is bonding them. When you go to Europe, whatever we have in Ghana, when you put everything in Europe together, it does not even get to a quarter of the resource we have in Ghana. But they stand united than us. Why? Because you're Jimmy. Because an African goes to Europe and goes to learn some stupid law. He comes to Ghana, he wants to be on every TV. Every stupid Ghanaian goes out there, he goes there, he thinks he went to school. And I went to school here, and they think they're smart. Basic common sense, you cannot apply it. These people are dying on the desert. They're dying on the sea. All because we have failed to think. All because we are stupid. Some of us, you go school and Jimmy. When you come to Africa, Jimmy Pani go school. That is our biggest problem. When you come to Africa, Jimmy Kasi go school. Go school, they are smarter. And Jimmy no, and they take advantage of the system. Why should you be sitting on TV and having an issue with an African who has been deported to your country? You should be proud and say, I've received my brother. If his home country does not even take him, I'll settle him in my country. Who is a murderer? You don't understand who we are. This man saw 100 years ahead of him. And I know kind of in 2025, say you deport African, every America, we all are supposed to be sad. Because it's not supposed to happen. It is not supposed to happen in the first place because an African is not supposed to be living on somebody's continent or in somebody's country without documentation. An African should be able to travel as an African and come back home as a proud African. An African should not sneak into people's homes. He should not sneak into people's land. An African should not be a slave, a modern day slave, all in the name of trying to survive. 14 people were deported. We are supposed to be shy. We are supposed to be ashamed. We are supposed to feel bad for ourselves. And this is going to happen over and over. This is not going to be the last. This is never going to end. Until you and I, Yakosku Kakrana Yejimino, we sit and understand where we are going, where we started, and where we want to end. The white man's kids are going to grow and they are going to do the same thing their forefathers are doing because that is what they came to inherit. And you cannot fault them for that because they need to protect their land. They need to protect what they have. They need to also live. What are you doing? We are doing nothing. We are copying. We are speaking grammar. We are pretending as if we know everything on this planet. 14 of our brothers have been deported back home. We are supposed to feel bad for each other. As I speak to you tonight, a man for Nameposo. Young people are on the desert. We have disappointed them. We never listened. We have been stupid for long. We don't know who we are. I have lived in America for years. I have an American wife. I have kids who were born in America who can be American presidents. I cannot. I can never be an American president. I can never climb the highest office because I am not American. I am not born American. You should be born Ghanaian, born African, and be proud. So if your brother today in 2025 is being deported, I am lucky because I live here legitimately. I live here because my documentations are right. My brother should not sneak to enter here because where he comes from, where everything is, has not been managed well. We don't even know why we are where we are today. And we still sit on TV. An African country goes into an election and the judges sit and tell us that they want to go pick a black book from Europe to judge our democracy. That is a stab in the democracy we have built. Young people go out of this country, they go and learn what the white man believes in and wants to apply it in where the black man lives. This should be a recall. This should be an alarm. It should tell you and I. We might think that we today, what is happening to these brothers and sisters being deported will not happen to us. In the next day, year, month, it's going to happen. This is a cyclical condition. Until the mind gets to that point where it is ready, until we accept that we can't build ourselves, this is going to happen. If Nkrumah was speaking in the 60s, 70s, and in 2025, people are being deported from the white man's land to Africa because they don't have documentations. And what will make somebody leave their home without having the right documentations? It is because the home they are coming from has failed them. We are too smart but very stupid. When I see people sit on TV and radio arguing, talking about this, we need to go to court. What did the government negotiate with the American government? Do I care? Do I fucking care? At least the American government was good. They did not shoot these people. At least they are good people. At least they handed our people to us. Some people would have killed them. But these people were like, you don't deserve to live here because your papers are not good. We should at least take this and learn from it. This is the time people are speaking grammar. PhD, doctor, political analyst, scientist, and kwasiafo. What we are doing back home is what our kids are learning. The way we don't believe each other, we don't believe in ourselves, the way we don't believe in where we come from, the kids are beginning to believe in that. And let me tell you, in the next 10, 15 years, what we believe in today in Africa is what they're going to believe in. You see these people, what they believe in America is what their kids are going to believe in. And when a young American goes to the United States Army and takes weapon to fight for their country, they don't fucking care who you are because it is what they have instilled in their head and in their heart. They love their country dearly. They will die for it. But we can't say that for ourselves because what we have been taught is to be selfish, is to believe that we are better, but we know nothing, is to silence our own people. We are selfish people, ingrates. We are people who don't respect where we come from. That is why the cycle keeps going on and on. It's never going to change until at a point we start to believe in something different. And what is that thing different? That different thing is what Nkrumah was talking about. We don't have self-belief. We don't believe in ourselves. We are not ready to adapt to our own system. Yeah, Jimmy, we are a lot of illiterates parading on TV and radio as intelligent people. Nothing is working. Nothing is working. An African can move from Africa, come to Europe, and in a short space of time, he starts to adapt that in Europe you cannot pee on the street. Start to adapt that Europe you have to marry one woman. They live within the law. Our children in Ghana, our children in Africa, they are living by nothing. There are no standards. We talk too much. We speak too much. We think we read books, we become intelligent. We are still stupid. We can't apply it. We can't apply it. It's not about age. It's about we. What these kids are inheriting. Let me tell you, in Kwaya Womundeno, they are going to do the same thing for the next 50 years. Because they are not learning anything new. In Kwaya Krumuhano, in Kwaya Asia, they are adapting to what their elders, their forefathers are doing today. According with these 7 years for Asia, Oceania, what is in Asia, what is happening, they are adapting to it. And that is how they will grow. They will grow to believe in their country. They will grow to believe in hard work. They will grow to believe in agriculture. They will grow and believe in innovation. They will grow and believe in working. But we will grow and believe in corruption. We will grow and believe in sidelining people. We will grow and believe in reading books and neglecting what makes us humans. We will grow and believe in nothing. We will grow and believe in somebody's ideology, somebody's belief. So we will always be second fiddle. And that has been the cycle. And we, when we were born, we thought we could change it. Still, we have not been able to change it. It is the same cycle. Because we are not ready to understand where we are. We talk too much. We speak too much. We read. We don't reason. We are just stupid. We don't want to accept the fact to say, we are not where we think we are. I believe, say, party not say, but they just don't want to admit it. My job as a human being on this planet, Emuba say Megu MPP, and I keep saying it every day. So we study a year since I came into this space. Na enkophobia a hijacking or Ghana. I no create impression. Be say a year nipe bin kwan ebetumaka a year Ghana honsem. There are few people pen our Ghana betumatana TV, so I discuss it. A year issues happening in Ghana, politics in Ghana, development in Ghana. Until I popped up, now the system was saturated by some group of people. They created this impression, say, oh, you're ordinary Ghanaian to say me, you have no right to even make your point or try to explain things to the privilege, the platform, almost sebio, omuni sa akwenya na almost bit my ball margin. Ghana, they can do more than I'm doing. The Oncophobia organization, when they give them the opportunity to sit where I am sitting, They can do a fantastic job. They can express their views better than me. They can educate people better than me. And there are so many people too. They are happy I am here because I'm able to explain things for them to have an understanding of the AC. Any Ghana chichirimu. When I sit on this platform to speak, or every single day when you see me on TV, what I try to do is I don't make you feel say I am intelligent than you, or I don't make you feel say I belong to some certain class and you don't belong to that class. When the conversation comes, my opinion is what matters. No, what I try to do here is I carry you along. I try to let you understand what I'm doing. I try to help you to also express yourself in different ways by understanding what I am doing here. And it's what study. There are so many people in Ghana today. They don't like me as a person, but they always want to hear the message. If you don't like me as a person, I'm fine. I'm okay. Because I have people in my family I don't like. Yes. And there are people in my family who don't like me. What I mean, and I say, what Sibio, we are just a friend or a viewer, and say I don't have any problem with that. But the most important thing is the message should get to Nipano, for them to understand the message. And that was the gap between you, the Ghanaian, and the so-called people who were lying to you in the name of being experts, being journalists, being their pundits, being their contributors, being whatever, lawyers who were sitting on radio and TV. They created this kind of their perception around themselves or each other that wona wo hwɛ me no so wuti mikro ayɛ do aname ma mikro denu ana wuti ekrobia so na wo hwɛ mo no mo won kran a. They create the impression say brofo na ye kan en kran no until they come to tell you about it. You would never understand. And that is the gap I have tried to bridge. We have been able to bring you along. Yet to me, at the Ghana phone, abba to the table to the point whereby some people cannot sit in Ghana and be like, oh, I'm the friend to the president. My name is Kweku Bako, and I have a document, and this document says this, without everybody knowing what is in the document. We have been able to cancel out that. We have been able to stop that kind of running of a nation. In the end, we have been able to bring everybody along. Nobody can sit on TV and call themselves an exceptional brain, or nobody can pop out from nowhere and make it look like say they are exceptional when it comes to Ghana ho ensensem. Yeah, Jenny Ghana ho, yeah, can Ghana ho sem, yeah, church Ghana and semua. Now we don't have anybody who stands out uniquely and say I am unique when it comes to discussing Ghana's problems. But 10, 15 years ago, there were some people we saw as until these people speak, Ghana issues no yantiasie, and that is the thing that we have been able to nullify. That is the confidence we have been able to put in the system. That is the belief. That is the country yet to be handed over to the people. So now the people can sit and listen to everybody and make their decisions that at the end of the day will better their lives, will change their lives, will make sure say our future no, it is in their hands and it is secured. And that was our job as Ghost Team and as Loud Silence Media. My job was to make you believe that you as that guy in our Tebekwai, what else and Gregua, what a year stream, what a year bonono, you can sit or stay at wherever you are and be part of the conversation and make sure the decision we will take to elect leaders, to elect MPs, to elect people who lead us, you have a full idea, you have that control from wherever you are. And today, the belief and the confidence of Ghana Fuenya and knowing what is going on in this country, I'm a jandam, I a ding. I'm a nipebi ebreson bedada nipebi is because you have been part of the conversation. It is because you have now come to that realization, say, and Ghana who have the right to discuss Ghana. Because at the end of the day, when we are paying taxes, it is not selective. Yankasa we de ofri awonafo krom sebio onye dwumanti ne tax no form Yanka say we di ofri chebi ebi anana any den into the tax ne de bi beka ho. Yanka say we di ofri eye menhia ne wofa ne otumfo into the tax de better so when it comes to paying taxes in Ghana, direct or indirect tax, every Ghanaian at the end of the day pays. Why is it when it comes to having a conversation about how we can change the destiny of this nation, our contribution to our economic growth, our contribution to our security, contribution to our freedom, contribution to our democracy, contribution to our judiciary, how we govern this nation? Why are we selecting and being selective about who has the right to speak on it and who doesn't? Now, some group of people created this impression, say nipa bi akọ a specific school, akosua some specific thing or some specific things, they are more knowledgeable than Ghanaian na sebio owura classroom da, and as a Kuani na uncle school da. You get what I mean? Now, common sense is not about the law school I will call it. Common sense is not about reading political science in Legon or a tech. Common sense is not about you being affiliated to a politician. Common sense is not you calling yourself a journalist. So, senipana anko a university, senipana anko law school, senipano anya den ankonya abodini bi enkuta. You cannot deprive the person of onosono level of reasoning to the point where obemu se nipa we ebu ni kwasia na so obu ni kwasia. You don't have to be overly educated to be intelligent. You have to be able to apply your gumption. Do nyankopon dia ma no sebi omi ye Ghana ni 8 years ago na me te Ghana. I saw how things were being done. I saw how the environment was. I saw how ye kodidwa ye tonyoma. I saw how na sebio Ghana ye nyoma ye ne etie me hu sene na mesika samtie me hu sene na nkofo sika samtie me hu sene enti. With that, if you want to juxtapose, and I say, percent what the total ended the past 9 months, you don't need to have a degree to understand it. Because so now tomatoes 8 cities, then the same tomatoes no auto 4 cities. Your application here should tell you, say, nyoma asesa positively. So 8 years ago, some things were not being done right. Then the one who say, nipe bi A21 more. That thing here should tell you, say, there are some people on my already say obubeko sa adiena na nipe bi eja to no. Nti we what we have done over the years, what we have been able to build, the confidence we have been able to instill in Ghanaians, is to let that person almost friend ordinary Ghanaian, because you see the group now omo for years and years, they came up with what we call the ordinary Ghanaian phrase, that statement, ordinary Ghanaian. Omoboa, they created it. And they created that word to put a gap between Omo and Nemo. And when Kokubako sits on radio, when Esankuma sits on TV, when Kofi Bento sits on radio, when those Kominini people sit on radio, and those politicians sit on radio, what they would say, they say, the ordinary Ghanaian does not understand. The ordinary Ghanaian sitting there wouldn't understand what we are talking about. What about the ordinary Ghanaian? What about the ordinary Ghanaian? Every single Ghanaian is an ordinary Ghanaian. But because there was a group of people, some elites be creating an impression, say, Yakoskunti, we should draw a gap between us and them. No, let us call them the ordinary Ghanaian. Send a buyer a bar. From the way they see it, our perspective should overshadow their perspective. It is to me see. Now they are smart to pronounce say, okay, Galamsey, Ebaye, Nyende Ebaye, and Ameboa, regimes upon regimes upon regimes into my fighting Galamsey. And Yabedruha. Now, 8 years ago, a few months ago, Galamsey, the government which was in power, decided not to do anything. Now, the same Galamsey, there's a government in power. Nyomana, the government before a year, Emma Galamsey, at a point, now you to me can watch some kind or say or reverse. This is not a matter for elites or an ordinary Ghanaian. This is a matter for Ghana and Nyansa to say, okay, Obina Obi a quiet Emma Ghana for Remu, Chinese for Remu, Echo 2 Gala, Abra quiet yen 2 Gala woman, and the Abibia bar or Sisa a year equino mubiano obesino. Amount phobia Obama license over 2,000 a year MPP are buying. na yɛte kurom a yɛka sɛ yɛngyai gala na ɔmoma license no and the aban bi aba ɔse license kora ɔma biom nti sɛ ɔyɛ Ghana ni a you don't have to have a degree to know say aban bi na ɛte so no sɛsia no ɛnim nyansa kyɛn aban na ɛtwa mu no because at least yɛtu ho anamɔn aban na ɔte so no ɛkyerɛ sɛ nneɛma bi a na ɛsisi a na ɛma galamsey no ɛyɛ den si ɛbɛko no saa nneɛma no ɔtu ho anamɔn ɛgyina galamsey no so that is the difference and with that no nobody should be able to call you so you're ordinary Ghanaian. You are applying your common sense. And that is how we need to try and run this nation as a people. But your group people of Ghana, and they still exist. The reason why they are very careful of late in speaking and also in commenting on issues, and then they say, they know people like us, myself, and there are some very good ones in the system who are on social media, on TV, who have their own platforms, who come and kill the jandam. Until you can see, say, in Kofubia like 8 years ago, 9 years ago, 10 years ago, who are very vocal on TV and on radio every day, no, now they are careful. Most of them are not even showing up faces. They are not dead. They are still around. Because now they don't have that room where they will call themselves to say, yeah, different from the ordinary Ghanaian. Yeah, the ordinary Ghanaian. Now, what we know, the ordinary Ghanaian does not know. The last time I heard Bright Simmons, he was sitting on TV and he was talking about some issue, and you could see, say, with all due respect to him as an intelligent guy who does a lot of research, you could see, say, that particular topic he was speaking on, you could see he had gone to AI to read on some one or two things, and he was just doing what? Spewing AI statement. And they said, when did we have the plane crash? You could see Bright Simmons sitting on TV, and all that he was speaking about, you could see, say, he had no knowledge about the plane how it is going to be retrieved, how the emergency operations have to be conducted. But you could see, say, apart from he having an economic background, he was forcing himself in a situation or a space which he had limited knowledge about. And sometimes when you sit back, with all due respect to him, he is very good at what he does. But some people try to fit into places where they know that their knowledge or they don't have that kind of knowledge in. There are some people like that in the system. And because we have been able to let or enlighten Ghanaians, such people are now finding it difficult to just be coming out every day to speak. Now, what they do is they hide behind people's articles. What they do is they hide behind people's statements to see, say, they can be relevant. And sometimes people think, say, oh, people cannot lie again. People cannot lie to the system again. People cannot draw a line between some group of people and Ghanaians again. Right now, there's nothing like we mu nimnyansa chen we mu TV zunto omo ye better chen we mu de ya omo tenkran to omo nimnyansa chen we mu. That line is gone. We have been able to clean that line. We have been able to bridge that gap. Into today, when you are sitting on news file and you are speaking, you are not any exceptional intelligence. We don't see you as an exceptional intelligence. And it's a intelligence. When you sit on TV3 to speak, we don't see you as a unique individual. When you sit on any platform to talk, we don't see you as what you are saying is not something that we cannot verify. Because in the past, hardly could we verify anything because access to information was difficult. How many people had money to even buy data to access the internet? How many people were able to freely go and ask questions for AI to give you exact answers? How many people had the time to go to library to go look for a specific book to go and read on a specific topic? But today, you don't need to have a book. You need to just have something, a gadget in your finger, in your hand, and then do what? And search or research or ask questions. And that is why the so-called elites, as we speak today, it looks like they are fading out. They are not fading out. They are there. The problem is they are getting competitors. The people they did not respect, the people they underestimate their intelligence, they have become their competitors. In terms of saying, sometimes he does some things, he makes some statements, he does some analysis, and you're like, that is how it is. When we call evolution, when we talk evolution, when there's change, when there is change in wisdom, when there's change in how we consume information around us or in our environment now. There's this evolution whereby things that we appreciated and were scared of, we start to see those things as part of our thinking. And there are people today you watch them on TV and you're like, but this analysis and this statement, it's basically jandam, and that is the level of intelligence and change in the way people we get access to information. It is a metiha. Sometimes I'm on my show, I'm talking, I'm speaking on something. In the next 2 seconds, somebody has already cut that piece and started sharing on their page. That is the new world. So you cannot say you are the repository or you are the headquarters of intelligence or wisdom. Knowledge is everywhere. Nobody can intimidate. It does not matter your degrees. It does not matter school awako. A young man can question you on something he believes or knows after researching that you are lying about it. In those instances, they are not so exceptional again. You see right now, you see them, you watch them, and you're like, these people, initially we thought they were that smart, not knowing they are not that smart. It is not them. It is technology. It is the way we have embraced it. It is the way we have brought you along. And the Baumia Kasa, and some people you thought, Nana Dankwe Kufuado in 1998, 1999, 2000, 2001, 2000, Ekufuado Kasa, the whole Ghana has a Jimmy. When Ekufuado speaks, when he was speaking in those times or those days, Obia Ghana Biana just Ekufuado Nimyansa Chen Obia. All because one, Ekufuado them created then this gas around them. Say dear, ya call law school, dear, near papa ni way, dear nim no winim. But time everybody na expose you say na Sunday Ekufuado kura we Jimmy Chen Tafo. Enye Ghana Tafo, in Tafo e war more mass. Sunday Ekufuado Jimmy said mass and Tafo. Because as we sit here, in Tafo e war more mass. As time went on, there are some people now you respect who say we mukra so many nyansa nchen sa hwe obi tise osafomafo and osafomafo to na okasa afa economics one and also oka economy one so we can say how did we make this guy a finance minister? Send osafomafo gina ho na so osafomafo e kasa obi say how did osafomafo become a finance minister? And who obi say free akoto na ojina ho kasa obi say how did this guy become a Greek minister for 8 years? So there's so many people in the system now. When you listen to them, you ask yourself, say, then your man go for a chance. And they also tell you, I say, how did we end up with this guy as the vice president? And we said, we're in the bit to make changing Ghana economic fortunes. Ultimately, obi to say Samira Baumia. We call Gempa. One should and master on anything. Regular student passing through. Your son near training near any say K and the Gimpa. Into Ushap Samira, no cabro for whistle. Oh, yeah, no one say, oh, yeah, first lady, second lady, no, yeah, no, to first class jet, no, I call Kunkumbaja, Quastramo. Oh, it's naturally. Oniminyansa, Yadichimine. So it is not about the original way, and you know, oh, yes, Samira about my business on Nyansama. Obajisa utiena okasa say girl ya no kasa fula ni ba but man the practical thing to do ultimately clinic ontia say ade na also ye ne hufin na oma akwarabi enya enkwa ontia se enti we have allowed such foolish people in our space for too long. It's the same thing ba omi otisa na yire na usha Samira we chide nim pons onko higempa. Please don't do that. You know, I'll see you. Oh, don't worry. You know, I don't come out in the evening. I'll see you at later tonight. Oh, Samira, and you know my husband. Let me tell you, when it comes to economy, that is what we talk about every day. We created these people out of nothing. They are daft. They are ignorant. They are foolish people we are allowed to go through the mill without questioning their level of intelligence. Because it's not you being married to a politician like Samira. Marrying Baumia makes Samira intelligent. No. And as Samira speaking English. Now Samira saw Ghana ni. It is Okabrofwa. What is so unique about it? Because when Suabrofo car on Tichi Papa, when Suabrofo car on Timfante Papa, when Suabrofo car on Tiwangara Papa, child focus on it. It's the only options of Bekabrofo into Samira Tebrofwa. What makes Samira intelligent? Samira niye ne action the chesa with Jimmy because as a second lady, no, on full played and free hanko India. So Okwa Kunkumbaja and the low level of intelligence. Into Nigeria is a kitchen bob. Somebody will say someone say, where did this Samira time? Samira on charm you. Me jum yana ya. Yana ya. And you sit there, who will be to say those times at Ghana, hey, Kennedy Japan, yes, Kennedy Japan, dear, or no, now American or take, and a Kennedy, dear, more Niminyansano, or a businessman, Kennedy Japan, or first or Casa, now man for to know, or Cotranded tour, or to meet Jimmy no one, hey, way, or Niminyanson, can also obesi, obesi, hotel where pum. They see also what the Chinese phobia transi with a banching hono, or the Fred Bra, you better be feed the poultry. Sanyoma we nyina not wo we jani nyina ton akoko force sanyoma ni nyina o se e ade na wo ho a onim sa for 8 years ko 4 time na Kennedy Japan wo ho o ka che se ko 4 time no wo sika chen obia ekufu at the time wo sika chen obia banche hono no a ye de fra eburo e de ma e de ye poultry feed no wo san ho no woto enkoko free China okoton nkoko free China enkoko a ya parking 8 months a good dem no asoa be gu Ghana se montetemwe obekọ de fie no oye body ampesi edi aden a me the doctor say my surgery ntima me ndi akoko fools. And these are the people we sat in Ghana and we were listening to. Wa champion free ocean hotel e de ababeduru bancha haban o de be fidi poultry otena Ekufuado abamu one district one factory otena Ekufuado abamu nya contract Ekufuado abamu nyina contract or energy contract or to bust or to Ghana gas or to the board. So he never thought of this. Or free power. I'll say, oh, bancha habain. Bancha habain, the free bura, you bet to be a nyankuko. Kodi Chrome dumpim or your MP for 23 to 27 years. When to me for bancha habain, you bura man, you crow before, Omo munyankuko, and I said, when bien kuko pochi. And I said, pochi, and for mat, you crow before mebunu, so Omofanya dianeman kuko, and kwasiasam. These are the people and they take advantage of the people. These are the people, and we hail these people. Where there or a businessman? That word businessman, what does it mean? Obi Obegacho Ghana so a businessman be or a crown for anybody. Say Ushia Obi or Ghana. Ushia Broni. No, we say what do you do? Now, because I'm a businessman, he sees you as a criminal. There's nothing like I'm a businessman. What is businessman? What does it mean by? What do you mean by businessman? Also, such Trump not a business. Trump, he was into real estate. He didn't just call himself say I'm a businessman. What do you mean by I'm a businessman? When you say you're a businessman, you're a thief. The reason is that you try to go into other places you are not supposed to go to. You infiltrate, you use some influence to get some things indirectly which you know are not legitimate. There's nothing like I'm a businessman. So because I'm a politician, businessman or ye. But or say or ye economist, and the engineer who say on your economist, Papa wa bon. Baumia cannot be a better president because in the first place, ni Sivia, a maninya, the Iranian mates, our MPP mu, ebe vice president, na or your economist, or by economist, no, you seek a seminar say into a beer with Jimmy Obeto Obama Baumia to be a president. Can you appoint the MPP 16 years, Ekufuado, also a businessman, politician, businessman, what specifically does he do? I take contract. Taking contracts and making sure you making money out of government does not make you a businessman. So people when you can say I'm a businessman, I am a dian usi video what's the jajo. It's Kennedy like that, no, or a cotton, because he does not come with any specification. It does not come with any background to be a ube say wait dear, wait now you're good work because I'm so a businessman, any fool can be a businessman. I'm town red or PZ. Emma boys for so I'm a businessman and woman. So be to PZ eton red. Obi to PZ eton air codeine, Obi to PZ eton coca, or a businessman, because for the cocaine 2 tables no be tar or young faso. Into any fool can be a businessman. Obi can say I am an economist. Now the Ghana said in some now for 8 years. Ghana can jump from 3 to 17 now. Or Jimmy for on your economist is a liar. And say a Jumani Fawa, you'll be sacked. Why should we even entertain such comedians, such clowns, people who just say things because Omojin say a Jimmy in their life, they have created that impression. They have created that impression. I'm some Ghanaians think say, where we answer? Because when I sit and somebody like Kennedy Japan stands before me and say, I'm a businessman. You're a businessman means nothing to me. Criminals call themselves businessmen because if you're a businessman, you should have one business that you are good at. You don't have to be a businessman to affect people's life. Otia and Okaja to Abamame. Naminkosi hotel where pum. Naba omiaso ni Jimmy namha. You know something and the economy and digital. These people are crazy. All of them are crazy people. By the champ Okobusana, I'm also a businessman. I have built hotel. It's Yentam Ghana Mau. Yentam Ghana Mau because you have built a hotel. Now by the champ Jimmy, also to Wuremu or to Wuremu, I'm a deep president. Adaya, Makosi Hotel Wuremu, in Yentam Ghana and Shay and Semu. This is our problem as a nation. There are people who have gone through the mill to get to where they are. When you pick somebody like John Dramani Mahama, he's an in and out politician. He makes policies. He thinks through policies. He oversees policies and makes sure policies are implemented. So, or you're in and out politician. John Mahama has never stood anywhere else to tell you, say, I started my career as a businessman and I bought and sell. No. John Mahama always sits back and think for businesses. Think about policies. Thinks about solutions that a businessman, somebody in Ghana, those solutions can help the person's life to be better. You're in and out politicians. These people you are seeing are comedians who are lying. Kennedy, Baomia, they have nothing under their sleeve. Brian Echampo has nothing. He is capitalizing on some ignorant people to say, Messi Hotel in T. Now in the Padodo Messi Hotel or Ghana. Do you know the number of people who have built hotel in Ghana? And there are even Ghanaians who have built hotel outside Ghana. So we should just hand over Ghana to you because your friend Brian Echampo may see hotel. Managing a hotel and managing a country. Massa. Yet to come Brian Echampo. Now buying also and compare talk snit. Your pension sika hotel, you know, nanka also tonebe any dia. Such a person, Dani Ghana, I said in sim, wouldn't be Ghana bay. Time na only control krano or your minister kekeno anka your pension hotels in ko toni nyina ma na ba ne dia sa kwa na mo no onware ye nwoye inti sanka ne sekan ya wonu bi anko be. And we sit in Ghana and we entertain all these nonsense all because inkofo create some bibiato system ni say oh we mu die the we mu die no ma jimi the we mu die they are all people who are what? Foolish. As Kennedy said, these are all opportunists. They want to use you to make more money. And then the difference between John Mahama and the rest. And then the difference between John Mahama and the rest. John Mahama's job is to think, make policies for it to have a positive effect in the lives of the people. And your politics, and your reasoning, and your managing. And then the difference between John Mahama and Ekufuado. And it's Mahama free power, no. Majority of you were like, what kind of governance Ekufuado do enemy? Dear Ghana econo, because he does not understand that you as a leader, you as a politician, you need to think, make laws, implement policies, let it have effect, positive effect in the lives of the people. But when you bring a businessman does not think through policies. A businessman is always thinking business, and his whole thing is about profit. Who is the beneficiary of the profit? He needs to profit before you profit. And finance minister, the finance ministry was a profit-making venture. It was an institution that was built around him. And every deal or enterprise insurance, they had a percentage in it. It was business as usual. It was business first. It was not policies to affect your life. It was not thinking decisions that would change the lives of the people. MPP, they were in power for 8 years. You were still asking what is going on because nobody was thinking. Nobody was doing the thinking. Nobody was implementing the thinking. Nobody was making sure after implementing the thinking was making a positive impact in your life. Their idea was, it was always about sell, buy and sell and make money. Until they were throwing words around. One district, one factory, one constituency, one dam. Because if you look at all the policies under Bawumia Kufuor, they were all business venture policies. And those business venture policies, it was to benefit themselves because they create companies around it and then they take money out of you. And the offer Bawumia Busan said, Paulugu Dam, how is it benefiting the people? Obeka said he does not know. Over $12 million gone. There's a difference between a manager, a politician, and somebody who calls himself an economist. You being an economist does not mean you be a good manager. Somebody who can implement better policies for it to have better effect on the people, for it to be able to think through it and to say in the future, what decision I've taken or decision I've taken today will make an impact. There's a vast difference between the NPP and the NDC. The president we have today and the clown we had yesterday. Now, what was I doing? Near to Krom Hanabaumia, Ekache Ghana for you say Saudi keen to build medical university, 42 SHS in northern region. Mahamudu Baumia. Okache say, the king of Saudi Arabia, Ebabisi, a medical university, 2019. 2019, 2020, 2021, 2022, 2023, 2024. 6 years, we didn't see any Saudi king come to build any medical facility. No Saudi king. This guy calls himself a leader. He's a liar. Near to Kroma, or say Saudi king is see a medical university we are. Obesi 42 senior high schools. Before that, now Bawumia catch Ghana for Oniyeku for catch say Omoba see 350 senior high schools in their first year. Mr. S, get me the document and get me the video. Nana Kufuor ne Bawumia jina Ghana for him catch say yani MPP for including Kennedy, including Bride Champon, including Kentry, including Kwabena Japan, including Bawumia. We are going to build 350 senior high schools in 2016. In 2015, that is what they told us. We should give them the power. Bawumia ne Kufuor, Kennedy Japan, Bride Champon, they belong to the same family. They told us, say, for 2 million, our education, 350. As we sit here for 8 years, these businessmen could not build one school. Now you see, I'm trying to let you see the difference between Sanko Fowe, the NPP. Whoever represents the NPP is a liar. They are businessmen. They are just making money. They don't care about you. And anytime I draw some line, yeah, cratch for party. We are party of elite. They wanted to create that impression in your head. Send a bear obi to bekwaya. No, who say MPP ni bi wa kra, who is on nyansa. Into if you are crying about bekwaya, kase, yeah, one crying, yeah, police small or see you yate. No, I don't Jimmy to bekwaya. So obi to mention Souta or bar or say, hey, I cratch for no one crying. Into which Jimmy to say sticker or swatting crying, eh, yeah, a jumamaye. When we create a line, be able to the people cannot cross it. The people cannot cross it. Sanka Bawumia napo sani running meter. Na mumudu do nimsa napo Jimmy anameboa until he was given the room to express himself. They have 1,000 of them in the MPP. They are just businessmen. They make money out of you people. They are liars. And you see, sometimes the reason why they hate me is that when I sit here and I speak on the issues, I bring you along. I make you see the difference between these liars and why we are not supposed to hand over the country to these liars. 2019 Bawumia ka asase mwecho inkremoni a wodo mo mabofo ma wo ka no kure. Bawumia is a selfish liar. One ne yere no. Enti Adam and Eve omumiere de dia beduru hande Bawumia ne eye Samira. Okotena na Samira to work asa I saw economist. Bawumia and Samira ka so ye campaign about Bawumia obeje Samira ye economist because they kunu di no eno bi na odi atrona ni kunu master no eno na bi na wa master into betina so you know my husband he's an economic whiz kid, you know, when the economy, because it is not about being too intelligent, it's about being confident in your lies. Enti obane sua Bawumia Samira sua Bawumia when it comes to opportunities and creating opportunities for people. Onim nyansa na obetum ya anything obedi first lady for a second lady for 8 years. we cannot still see her impact in Ghana. And then Bob Samira Dia, then okay, Kunkum Bajia, then okay, or makeup, then okay, or party room. She does not represent anything. She does not symbolize anything. We cannot sit and say Samira be okay. No, it is only makeup that will come into your head. But when I mention say okay, Lordina Mahama, or say Lordina Mahama, concurrenza, Lordina Mahama there, okay, Lordina Foundation, a Juma why ye in the clinics in the hospital, and they are bought a year Kufo a Kufo the area. Rebecca Dia, then okay, Rebecca Foundation, and you on an ban the Betty Foundation baby Isika. Rebecca Foundation won't kai. Now Rebecca Kufadu Nimnana. You know the people. They don't represent anything. It is about them. It's about their selfish interests. Ubo Aya Kufwa Yiridin, she represented something. Ubo Nana Kudedo Ajma Rollins, apart from me having my problems with her, allowing the Kufuor Dames to enter her family, to destroy her family and destroying her husband, you know, apart from her being too greedy when it comes to political positions, you know, she was very impactful as a first lady in Ghana, one of the most impactful first ladies in Ghana. 31st December Women's Movement, every single community and village in Ghana, a woman was touched. That is the kind of woman we are looking for. John Mahama's wife, go and search on Atamel's wife, her impact when it came to their basic education. Mubina na okoto or Ghana around the nation or call school bia na teachers like say materials no omo for the week ebimba ya MP focus say chalk ni wono. Her impact on basic education, primary, her impact. This is what we talk about. Nasanko Fowe, what do they represent? What does Baumia represent? What does Samira represent? Samira represents Instagram. She represents makeup. She represents the Kunku Baja. What does she represent? Nothing. So why should we hand over a country to people like these who have no responsibility in life? This is what brought Baumia and Ekufori to power. Omokasombe 350 senior high schools from scratch. He made that statement. And the existing ones on betu, you know, they will expand them and finish them. Omo ntumi inform nsanka ba konkwasiafo we nde abase. Hey, asemesi entam Ghana momo. What do they represent? Baumia represents what? Baumia represents the first economist or yet 10 year or Sayan Krebonia or Bedi Ghana Swa or Tam dollar free 3 equal 17. That is Baumia's hallmark. What does Baumia represent? Baumia representing the timer Ghana echo IMF abroad Gina State Council, we will never go to IMF. Baumia represent a politician under his leadership or the head of economic management team. Inflation could do 57. That is Baumia. He's a failure in everything. He's a failure, a total failure. What does his wife represent? She represents makeups and stylish clothes. That is what we remember about Samira for. What do we remember Samira for? Why would you me? Samira. Hey, Nenta de. Hey, Ntuma Osha de. Samira does not represent intelligence. She does not represent helping vulnerable people. She does not represent a mother. She does not represent what we want as Africans. But you can mention Lordina Mahama. She represents an African mom. She represents people who are in need, who need help. She represents saving people, women. She represents people who are thinking about the health care of Awufo. That is what African women represent. Not makeup, not shiny clothes, not my palmistrim. That is an Instagram lifestyle. So when we are making decisions, we need to understand that decisions are about benefit here in the long term, not decisions that will wash away like makeup on Samira's face. Samira's political life is like makeup. It lasts for about 6 hours. If you wash it away, she goes back to sender. And that is not the kind of woman we need in our politics. That is not the kind of woman we expect to spearhead women in Ghana. We cannot put our women, their future on a platform to say makeup. That is what Samira represents. She represents makeup. You wash it off after every 6 hours. After 6 hours, and that is not what we want. We want a woman who leave a mark, a woman who leave a permanent mark, a woman who build a clinic, a woman who build a hospital, a woman who supply medical supplies, a woman who will be there for women, a woman who will represent women. That is what we are looking for. We are not looking for makeup artists who are going to be washed away in 6 hours. That is not what we're talking about. Samira is a back to sender woman. After 6 hours, she's back to sender. Ubody Prumpana question them until she puts on makeup. But Samira is a back to sender woman. Nigeria for ye catch the Ghana for say nipa dodo na no asem eno ene onyankopon ana abosom no anu asem. Enti insema no kan nyina ko betima kan 1 minute. Say enuanom de aban no eya ode ne nsa efrafra ye nsemu ema nyoma ye ho kire ya omudo mo sika abo ye sika semu ma ye twa edwadwo ma ye ho kire ye a ye nipa ye ni obi kan ya asem ma ye a ende Delta State nsema abeya ye nkitwa gine ma ye ntumi ndi ye hu onyame ene enim se na asem ene ye asem ko betima kan sa bo onim so mo tie kire ye MPP for omako school akọ kira JSS omo agimi eni no oye political jobas eni no oye ede union torom eni no oye transpananian dictum eni no use word be say acrimony eni no use political jobas or use microcosm or use political asinium union torom onim so omo agimi eni bi na ba omia de MPP for no eno ena ba omia e de MPP for no onim so ka kire mo se mo gimi o mo ntiase enti obeka ne se mo kai John Mahama mo kai NDC o mo se ye 93,733 na mo mento anim enko anim. Now this is a story I want to remind the Commissioner General of GRA. Commissioner General of GRA should understand, and this goes to the Finance Minister Ato Forsen. The Commissioner General of GRA, your name is Mr. Anthony Kwesi Sapon. Makacho, you are not a politician, but you have been given a political appointment, and that appointment can be taken from you. Time and now work KPMG, you know. We saw the job you did. But if you are going to be corrupt, if you are going to deliberately help some custom officers, they have political, criminal background, they don't deserve to be where they are, you have to make sure you do the right thing. And this goes to the finance minister because the decision you took about bringing back corrupt custom officers back to Tema and the headquarters, you took that decision with the finance minister to Forsen. Now, this customs officer, Augustine Ata Edubofo, now or a CRO, which is Chief Revenue Officer. Aban Sisaya Yabeya Wo, the Commissioner General, you actually transferred this guy to Koforidua. And when you sent him to Koforidua, only 2 weeks, and I want finance minister say SR calling and say on Samra. This man has a lot of things on him. We all know. Watina port war for 12 years. Now the information I am picking is that when I made a statement on this your decision, this your corrupt decision, you have moved this man to the headquarters, keeping the same position as the post clearance officer. Take him from there. This guy has been involved in Lexus thefts. The OSP is investigating him. This guy was involved in La Bianca scandal. Move that guy from the headquarters. Makachiro, if you want to be happy, do what is right. Mr. Anthony Kwesi Sapon, Omoya Commissioner General, people did not like it. People like us sat here and said, because of the job you did at KPMG, say you can do this job. Do not allow politicians to infiltrate. The little respect at the office that belief the president had in you, keep it and stop abusing your office. This guy should be moved away from the headquarters today. Ochina, he's not supposed to come there. If you want to rock shoulders, from Ochina, you see the dirty part of me. And I want you to call your friend the finance minister. We are not going to entertain any nonsense again. We are here to protect this government, to make sure John Mahama leaves a legacy. No president in Ghana apart from Kwame Nkrumah we can compare to. Because you, Mr. Edian Sapon, I never saw you on any stage campaigning for the NDC. But because of expertise in Tina John Mahama Dokoshe Edian as the Commissioner General of GRA, do not start this nonsense. Pull the guy to Koforidua. He's not supposed to stay in Accra. He's not supposed to be in the headquarters. Take Augustine Ata Edufo back to Koforidua because he's not better than anybody in Koforidua. He's not supposed to be in Accra. Take him back to Koforidua because you cannot sit there and tell me say, oh no, or you're better than Omo Koforidua. Take Augustine Ata Edufo back to Koforidua, and today is your last day. I am telling you, today is your last day. And I'm telling the finance minister, today is the last day. Edubofo is not supposed to come to headquarters. He's not supposed to be at Tema. Edubofo needs to be at Koforidua because you issued a transfer letter to him. I don't want to be publishing transfer letters here. I don't want to get dirty. I am protecting a government. I am trying to protect this country. And if you don't want problems, I know, say, your integrity is very important to you. Ochinanopa, I have eyes at the headquarters. I don't want to see Edubofo there. Give him back his transfer letter and let him go back to Koforidua, or else you will not like me. Mr. President, take us and I'll say, mu you and hanging now, but so catch a year any you and in Pedifuna, we shall say, a ya Dachino, on your bruni, Dachino on your Chinese knee, Dachino and your day Caucasian, or said Dachino a ye bibini, or free bibi for krum, or your African. Or say Dachina ye hunwa ye tiha yes in some way I was here cano and this obia etoto de Africa and I say ebu Africa nimtia or say or share mebunu no senia omaji penny say in the years to come omobe to me adane ewiase ewiase nyina eba be si den ebibrem anas Africa kon ho no or say owogidie na ebeye UN any ewiase nyina wan say in the next year and I say in fear edi enim no ewiase nyina ba be gina Africa kon ho na sabio said nipa bi wa ha ana nipa bi wo wiase na so mu bu Africa nimtia ana bomfia ono John Dramani Mahama oka say the future and I say sabio daachi na dey enim no say daachi wo hia na busan say wo free hia obeka say me ye bibrim ni me ye Africa ni. If you say when it comes to ewiase inkabom enchechiriye de abefo broni de science any ewiase the new worlder or say Africa na bedi anim if you say onu wehu and wehu say Africa no bibia ema ewiase ye wiase bia na ho ne free na oto ne num tuo e wo UN aka kire pedifo bo ho nyina say memma omondwene ho da say obi bebu de Africa nimtia anase obebu Africa de bomfia na mbebunu na omoba no ye mbebunu bi a omai sakra omadwene agipene se omodi ewiase ebesi obokon ho adane ewiase ma ewiase nyina abegina Africa so enti osakan ye osesa mekan na mo ante a se bi ebia mo amu echiro no mo ante daachi wiase no daachi mpuntuo no ye be frɛ ne se den bibrem anase African efri se ono de ogidi na oji kwa menkroma so di na oji ebibifo mbeburu di se Ghana Africa ye nyina ebibifo no ye de wiase ebesi ekon ho na enche na asema oken o se debi na ye de ne boɔ ebema no ono de ogyinama ka kire ewiase nyina ani penifo mo hia ho se Africa ye de se why wadwe se oni ba be di dwuma ye bie ye kwan ye bie ye pono anyone can come and invest in Africa but obeso osimu dua say imredu say or say ewiase te ase say wo ba na oni ebedi dwuma yene agudie yene agapade de yete so no e wo say yene ene ye kirew de wo so fa ene de wo say kaye ho o say imredu say ye bema ewiase ate ase say sa eye de edin na wo de atu yeso say ye ho kire e kom da ye so ye de ye yankofo bi a ya pratete ye ni enimonyam no o se sa de no e wo say twam efri se ewiase nyina no e koso nyina no e ye gudie ene emfaso a aman a wo wiase enya free Africa na ye sia no o se ye ni Africa so ye beka ye to atwom na emom ye nka se ma obia ne ye mbeye adwuma na wo bo tirim se oni eba ye adwuma e wo se o tie ase se adwuma dia oni ebedi no emfaso kese no e wo se e ka ye ho o se emra na edu se emra duru se eye mbibremfo eba Africa se omo ne ebedi edwa ensa wo so a wo so omo de omo tirim se enya ade a omo ba abenya omo ho adi sebio meka so omo ho adi a ebetwa edi anase omo ebubu ya fa so se ye ne obedi dwuma ye ne obedi dwuma e wakomapam na so ye ne wundi dwuma anase ye ne wo enko eye de adwumadiem abra ye ho be kire ye o se edum pempenso a wo se wiase te ase se Africa na ye ka kire sebio broni anase ebia abrofo a omadwene am se ye Africa fo bia ye titi nnua so ekom de ye ni bebi te ye ho kire ye ni nsunum no o se saa nyoma no e wo se ende esutwa every say ye ni ebibrimfo de ye wo no abrofo no mu ni bi enti se man amadwene som ne be adwuma monti ase se dwuma dia mu ne ebedi no emu mfaso kase no ye beka ye to atwom ama na kai krom eno ena na John Dramani Mahama ejina UN General Assembly catch a brofuni nyina sɛ ɔmo fa nto ɔmo tirim ɔno deɛ ɔdɔ obia te sɛ Kwame Nkrumah obia ne obia ndi dwuma mbom nanso mɛma obi enya na adwene sɛ obetumi etwi obi edi anaasɛ obetumi afa koti kwan so afa obi egudie anaasɛ agye obi nsɛm sika ana agye Africa ni bia di nsɛm sika ɔsɛ nyoma asesa John Mahama eka bibi fa eye Ghana oye president sebio ye economy ene se ne nyoma so eko ha ode eye mfato ho ema Africa fo ene ewiase mpanifo nyina hu se so mo pese mo hu se Africa ya ba beduru bebi mpempenso bi a ye nyanka se betuma hwe ye ho ye betumi atoto ye nyoma age ye kuresi wo ama sebio ye mbabunu ye mba ene ye mbema enya bebi agina ose obese ewiase ti ase se time obeji eye dey afena so obedi president of Ghana the second time ya eye the first time no o say eho na wabeji edi say ye Africa for imbibremufo a ye betumi adane ye kra ye betumi asesa ye hyebre o ye betumi a reset eye dey Africa no o de Ghana ye mfato ho e no cheche mu kire abrofo no say de wetumi aye de na ban krampo etumi aye in this short 8 months I obedi president senia ahokeka every onwane party mu Ghana for mebunu ene Ghana for omagiatum say omo bedi dwuma abo omoman no ene ye sika sam senia na asai tama na MPP wo so a wo motumi ye nyina tumi adane Ghana man no mana begina bebi papa ama ende dum so ni ho ene ye sika sam afa ne tuma pefra ene Ghana obi hu se ye nyoma ekoye no o se eno ene hye na rehemu ema ewiase nyina hu se Ghana die yetumi aya and the Africa betumi aye John Dramani ene o kan no o say enti die wetumi aye ene de na aban etumi aye ene de Ghana fo aboa no ma etumi adane Ghana hyebre abesi impempenso bi a ende ewiase afa ne nyina no omo hwe esikasam ye mind totoye ye gidie ene de Ghana ye koyenim ye na o se ema na rehemu se Africa mema ewiase entoto Africa ase na emom also obi ate ase se Ghana yetumi aye na esika se megina ho na ndedum so ni ho and the inflation abafom and the interest rate abafom and the amanfo enye adwuma and the Ghana ye gold sam sebio ye ka say yetumi bo ho ban ema ye stop galam say and the Ghana baby ye dui bibia ekoye no o say eno o say kire o say etirimu po se eye na gina ne naso na ugidi se obetuma bibia se ne ono ene ne nkofo Ghana fo etimi abo butirimu po aye dwumaden adane Ghana hyebre abedum pempenso a bibia koso no o se onim se Africa sa reset agenda no enu bi na wa Africa inte wiase afa ne pedifo nyina ntia se se Africa afa ne ntoma pefra ya ready senia ono etu abnamon ama ni kro Ghana edinechi ama na mon aya na monpa no onim se African penifo ene Ghana African penifo ene mbebunu nyina enso aye krado se omo be make sure se eye Africa eye continent no eno so be fa ne ntoma pa efra. Now John Mahama eka bibi efa emma ho sebio unim John Mahama ono ene the first president of the Republic of Ghana or the oba abe the vice president na bi nsi da enti se eba eye emmayewa emma ehudie ene se ne omebo ombo so kasa ebeba bedwom na ye bebu omo a untumi nyi John Mahama abra on bona baso John Mahama kire African leaders bebre say emma a vital or a very important part of the building of the African continent intende okabibi efa eye emma ho or the onangasa ne ba eye de ba odono eye obaba fefefe eka kire wiase say me baba we krampo no emma me nkranhye ema ewiase ma me hu se eye debi no eye UN we no oba bebe di enim every say the priority nyina ne se sebio ye benya emma dodo no ema oma eden edi ewiase so because abadaye ene sebio eye akoma pa emma kuta no osese ema emba so kwan na mo betena prono no so na mo ne mbema epre na ye nyina adwendwene oman ene ewiase ho a ebema ewiase abaye bebi pa ye nyina yakoma beto eyem tu nenum tu o se eye ebende de se dache no eye United Nations eye organization kakraka we oba na beda no o say de ene de emanya nkranhye ekasa asem we ene ono an vice president professor Nana Jane Opoku-Agyeman oba Ghana eye Republic of Ghana ono ne eye sebio oba na adwumu do a o be the first eye the vice president of the Republic of Ghana or the professor Nana Opoku-Agyeman ni sua de ni huna de wo hu experience any believer ede maame no abedu sam pempenso na onya agidie wonimu ebe the vice president no o se ohu sa agidie no e wo ne baba sebi wodi mfie edum wotwe 18 na ohu sa agidie no wo oba bia mu e wo Ghana ene ewiase ene Africa fe nyina na owo gidie na owo arehemu se debi no eye UN General Assembly no oba ene bedi anim se ne be ya ewiase be hu se emma so aba ɔma ba pono no so na ɔmo so bɛkyerɛ ɔmo adwene ɛmɛ akyekyere ɛyɛ Ghana ɛne ewiase ɛne sebio ɛyɛ continent ɛwɔ wiase nyinaa ama yɛ nyinaa yɛ nya asomdwie. John Dramani Mahama ɛndɛ wakasa ɛmɛ wiase ho adwiri ɔmo yie ɛndɛ wɔkɔ a abrɔfo no nyinaa ebusa, this guy is unique, this guy is very intelligent, this is a very bold Africanist, this guy looks like Nkrumah, he has Nkrumah in him. Abrɔfo no nyinaa ɛdeda ɔma no, we have never seen something like this. This is the first time at the UN General Assembly that a president from Africa has spoken straightforward in our faces. He spoke about the Palestinian war, he spoke about women's rights, he spoke about African youth, he spoke about development, reset of Africa. This guy is a very bold, intelligent visionary. Abrɔfo no nyinaa keka Udu corridors of the UN. Ubias Risvinano, Uchumam Mr. President. Uchumam Mr. President. Who is he? His name is John Dramani Mahama. Where is he from? He's from the Gonja area of Ghana. The people are very smart and intelligent. The people are like, we want to come and see the Gonja king. They said the king is also a very, very wonderful man. Very accommodative, very hospitable, a very intelligent king in the Gonja land. His descendant is John Dramani Mahama. Wonderful people with great heart. The whites, the Europeans, all the Asians were very shocked. They said, this is Nkrumah. We are seeing Nkrumah in a second light. This is what we say. John Dramani Mahama, he is the hope. We believe in him. We believe in the NDC. And John Mahama, as he said, the prrr. This, the voice of the people, will be the voice of God. All right, moment to us. In the John Mahama Kasaya and or can send breaker or can be before a year adiaba kwa affect Africa a ya Africa for Japanese slave trade. Say before ya nanom edi obokwa bruchiri sibio yedi ebimu fa ya umu or say ayadia sibio hanpa adia so sibio edin say yene Africa for yebetumi akase ye refi ade bia yekoda yeso ho daye enya ade bia yebetumi akase ye refi sa akwa oka kire abrofo no ewo ho say eba slave trade dia ade bia ye ne apa ade bia ye Africa for ya sebio se ne tete ye nananom ye fa o mu bi ekoye o mu ayade nti eno so ye nsam okan John Mahama kasa no ka bibi fa se ne COVID-19 ba ya sebio ewiase sikasem amai bebre sikasem ese ya onim se COVID-19 no sebio ye nyina ye nim ye kenkan ye se eba ye no ebeka ewiase afa na nyina na mom omo ana omunim nyansa no tumi kyekyere omukuro omo agimi no e na omo fa ho edidi Ghana edidi wiase sika na John Mahama kasa dum no oka asasem no e na abozege ba omia sebio na adwene enko ekire sebio on time kai de waye sebio neni wade a sebio na adwene ense Ghana fo agimi nti odimirika be kasa say hey motiye John Mahama kasa no o se COVID-19 no sebio ese wiase nyina sikasem Baumia was problem with a year comprehension. Baumia's problem in life is when he see a lot of people, he's not able to maintain his composure. Baumia's biggest problem in life is to sit, absorb, process before he speaks. Now Baumia Kasano or say President Mahama Kasa New York or see COVID by no. If we are suffering na a can be economy. Eka Africa, eka Asia, eka Americas, eka Europe. Na adia Mahmoud Baumia epese odisi MPP4 omuko school do GS ado mojane say. Onim say MPP4 ne Jimmy. Now it's as simple as that. Nobody denied say COVID by no anka economies. Nobody around the world. John Mahama Njina baby anka say COVID-19 did not affect economies around the world. He never said that. John Mahama and NDC for Air Kasana almost say, you people took advantage of the COVID to mismanage your economy. You took advantage of the COVID to steal from Ghanaians. That is why after COVID, countries like Togo, countries like Cote d'Ivoire, countries like Iran, countries Sudan, near expect to say they will be drowning in debt. You know, those countries were doing better than us. It wasn't because they did not also face COVID. It was because they, at the end of the day, did not lie to their people. They did not take advantage of COVID money to steal from the people. It's not John Mahama war position. Na catch them say, "Adia mo di COVID any Russia-Ukraine war and say you are hiding behind Ukraine any COVID to steal from the people." And When we were in Ghana, when you were in power, we saw it black and white. How the NPP are now leading. Omu use COVID-19 sika mumubi plus you any group no muria COVID-19 sika. At a point, your party faithfuls were bold enough to make statements in public. Say yes, COVID-19 sika no ebi nyaya as much as 100,000 cedis, $100,000. Inti John Mahama ni NDC for ni Ghana for they were saying say na COVID de bana ewiase sika tem nyina say na COVID koye Togo jina ne naso Cote d'Ivoire jina ne naso Benin jina ne naso Sudan jina ne naso na muda wote Ghana blame COVID. It means say one sika munya aye from World Bank, IMF, any donors no you people with the big mouth like your anus no you people squandered the money. Na John Mahama ni NDC ni Ghana for kaje say mano no eso chen moto to kru inti sika bia bebia na mudi na eti krom ha ba omiano enam ka say the processing the way he process things no and then the man bre e wasasi so when people speak he doesn't take his time to analyze process it and san efrina no aba inti de bia na obeka say we no say he is not there yet aka kakra aka nine pe. Inti John Mahama ni NDC and Ghana for nyina were complaining say dan because before 2022 COVID-19 hit you know Mukach say or Ghana ha nyina say our economy is resilient. Your sika my buffers are strong. Nothing can shake the foundation of our economy. But COVID hit you know nyina musa na Ghana nkwa ewiase nyina. But right after COVID the same countries here go through that economic turmoil. No, they were all recovering. Why were we not recovering? Our money was still going up. The dollar was still rising. You were in charge of the economic management team. You were in Ghana. You could not give us any answer. In fact, at a point, you, Baumia, refused to speak on the economy. You, this toy. You, this comedian. At a point in time in our history, you, as the head of the economic management team, you refuse to speak on the economy. You refuse to speak on the dollar. You refuse to speak on everything because you thought we were stupid. We will forget, and then later we will go line up and vote for a clown like you. Near Tigana ha, and a COVID-19 time, you, Mahmoud Baumia, Mwankasamo party for a year bold. Baumia, you are a catfish. Baumia is a catfish. Near Tigana ha 31st of May 2022. That was the time. Near Nina Yewu, Yebre, Mosi COVID-19 aba, Yesika Sama say, 31st of May 2022. I received 100,000 Ghana cedis from COVID-19 fund. NPP parliamentary candidate claims. Obawe jina eye NPP fuenum ka say ono nkwampo onya tete Ghana sika no 1 billion COVID-19 sika Obawe. She said it publicly. Mahamudu Baumia. I'm reminding Baumia of what they used the COVID money for. Sikana muwiya mu party for parliamentary candidates. And a muwiya sikano. Obejina ose Mahama said yen. Mahama and Ghanaians were complaining because the COVID-19 money, you and your parliamentary candidates, you were stealing it. You have no shame. You are a catfish. We are catfish. You don't wait. MPP for. Let me remind you of the things you use the COVID-19 money for. The reason why we were mad at you people. Now, these are some of the things you use the money for. Information Ministry led by Kojo Ponkroma. Information Ministry paid itself 151,000 cedis as COVID-19 allowance for working during lockdown. Kojo Ponkroma 1.5 billion old Ghana for working during COVID-19 lockdown. One call officer, not TFA. Auditor General's report. Kojo Ponkroma, you MPP for Baumia. Kojo Ponkroma is an integral member of your campaign. When you become president, you will give Kojo Ponkroma a position. That is why they are all following you, because all these people were part of the people who embezzled COVID-19 funds. Who are you to talk about COVID-19, Baumia? You, Baumia. Who are you to talk about COVID-19? You are a catfish. You have no shame. You are an embarrassment to the Islamic religion. I am showing you what you did with the COVID-19 money. That is why Ghanaians were complaining. That is why John Mahama, when he was former president, was telling you people that you are lying. It is not about you, the economy. It's about misuse of the money. It is about you people stealing the money. Kojo Pon Kruma we in Ghana, Otia no ka 1.5 billion Auditor General's report. And on an Ghana, o pia se ba omia be di president. Na oba omia be di president bi ma. Na upon Kruma na set na COVID-19 sika, omude omunsa bomu no, they will get another position again. That is all that you people are doing. You are retraining the people who took us for granted. Those people who came to steal from us. That is why majority of them nyina di wechi. Because they know. That is why today, all MPs, you have opened your register to bring former MPs, former chairmen, so that they will help you rig your primaries for you to bring them back. That is all that they are doing. They have tested money. They have tested crime. They have tested corruption. It is sweet. These boys, they have tested crime before. They have tested their corruption. They know, sir, when you are in charge, as dumb as you are, they will be able to test corruption again. That is why they are all following you. These are the things you did with the COVID-19 money. We are reminding you, you have no moral right to speak on COVID-19 under your leadership. Frontier earned over $87 million, while government got under $7 million from COVID-19 testing at Kotoka International Airport. Frontier. Yabusa Osla during vetting say Frontier company na ewo Kotoka na ejiji Ghana for sika no why they are also onim. Yabusa National Security Boss Kandapa also onim. Yabusa Information Minister also onim. Yabusa Oba Omia, nobody told us say Frontier eyeku for the bush and for there. You ba Omia, you knew. Frontier for eji Ghana for some sika $87 million. You knew all these things. You were part of the committee. You were part of the cabinet that gave Air Frontier the contract. This is COVID-19 money you embezzled. You people received 21.84 billion Ghana cedis COVID-19 funds. Almost 22 billion. You Baumia, you are an embarrassment. You are a catfish. Also, Mahama said, I COVID by no, if we ask you received 21, almost 22 billion. What did you do with the money? And they was Baumia say 22 billion. Then I'm there, then 22 billion. After 22 billion, not cedi no dollar no was 1782. After receiving 22 billion. COVID-19 fund, Sika and for the Ghana, World Bank, IMF, Ghana for Amuji Sika, foreign donors, more receive 22 billion. Maybe say about 22 billion. What did you do then, Obeka? What did you do with the 22 billion? Why one who said the Okan Quran, Uzbekistan, Abijana catcher say, I and Amanda da a president no onim no kura no kura bang. Uti shines a torch, no kura bang. No kura bang. And now what Ghana na concert. What Ghana na concert in some hunu 22 billion Frontier for 87 million under your watch. You can't even tell us who Frontier Nidia. We asked Osla, we asked Kandapa, we asked everybody, the health minister, Menu, George Nino. He could not tell us Frontier Nipa Nidia, Nina Neku for the bush and for there. And the Ujina, what's your boxer shot? Becky can say Munacha Ghana for say, I no crab daddy in Tiantam Ghana Mount. In Tianya Day, Yamamba president. Now you make up artists, Mumba Day. Now let me show you this. You see, COVID-19, $81 million worth of vaccines paid for was not delivered. Auditor General's report. Motam Ghana for sika $81 million. Somebody could tear vaccine. Yamamba what Ghana for ever seen there. The Attorney General is looking into it. You have the moral right to discuss COVID-19. Now, on Faria de own, but we are before. Baumia, we are before. Sankonia before, and come be one umponka COVID-19 wasam. Say COVID-19 is say Ghana. $81 million. Ebe sinne. Moka some of the top vaccines are be woye. Moko fa poison be war Ghana for. What Ghana after Mike, you are no win. Abejina S saying. Yenya den inti yama ombedi president Yama Kennedy made the president. Inti yama MPP power. Inti the amo ya de yantam to me ma wana. Na be den. You were charging bogus $150 at the airport per person. Obia ura Ghana airport at $150. Ghana for tie mu kasaye titru enkwasiafo bogus na mu di MPP chi se enwan no. No mu kam. Omu fin. Oh yeah dear. Oba ne den ade ne de MPP enwan no mu gu abroche titru Germany for. San kwasiafo no mu di MPP chi no. Omu fin. Omu du kotoka no mu ni so atwa omo. Omutiti nkurase wo Germany omudu kotoka airport obesim no aye NDC ne sie ne emo mu hu nyansa sa abroche na wote no wobeduru Ghana enkwasiafo te se MPP moje Ghana fo hu sika nyina die wasa begina ho eyiwa no hu nwia no patututu beka kire se ai COVID-19 ena ma anwoma boye edin eni ntina na mo se nwoma boye edin COVID-19 nti na COVID-19 sika wo de edin